way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, why can't I?
By Lee and I about 2 weeks ago. We'd never seen it before. One of the best pictures I've ever seen of Rick. The photographer was him. How awesome is that? For those who don't know, my name is David. I'm Rick's younger brother. I want to thank you for sharing your afternoon with us. We have a little problem with the mic, so if you can't hear it, let me know and I'll try and louder. I would tell you that I'm not as good a speaker as Rick was, so I'll try and make this the best I can, honor him. But I will need to pause from time to time, or as it is with all of you, it's still wrong for us. Someone told me I needed to make this happy, and I agree. So there will be stories I hope that will make you laugh, and I hope you will share some some stories that you have, but I also tell you that I'm not done crying yet. Rick was the rock of the family. I and everyone miss him. So there'll be a few slideshows, and they might make us cry, so hold on to your tissues. But I didn't put them together to make you cry. I wanted to show you the love and life of Rick, because he was so great. I want to take this opportunity to thank a few people. First and foremost, Tim and Rika. When Rick went down, the nurse and Tim kicked in. Not only did she start CPR, but after Rika called 911, Tim had Rika take over CPR, and she ran next door to get help. While CPR was continuing, Tim cut off Rick's shirt because she knew the medics would need access to his chest right away. And then she moved furniture so they would not be impeded. I hope that I am never in that situation. But if I am, I hope my actions were at least half as good as theirs. They gave Rick every chance they could. I will forever be grateful for the love they showed my brother. The next person I'd like to thank is a young lady that Rick considered his adopted daughter, Emily Laughlin. It was Rick and Ben's employee. Talk about an impressive person and one hell of an employee. Laughlin and Rick, Tim, and Rika would go to the ocean. Emily would run the store. And during the time that our family was going through the hardest time we've had, she kept us still to keep the store running. I thanked her once, and her response was one that touched my heart. She said, "They've treated me like family. I've gotten so much support and advice from Rick, and I will never forget it." That sounds like something someone would say about Rick. Thank you, Emily. I have to give gratitude to St. Peter's Hospital Critical Care second floor. The nurses and doctors were wonderful and supportive. At St. Peter's, on their ground floor, they have the Sunshine House guest lodge. It's a hotel for families who are in the same situation as we were. And they have rooms at a very reduced cost. It helped take the burden out of where we would be staying and the cost it could have been. I need to give a special thank you to Dr. Matt Louie. Dr. Louie has a very sad job. He is part of the palliative care services. When a family is called all together in kind of a conference room, you know it's not going to be a conversation you want to hear. Some hard decisions have to be made to that. Dr. Louie was one of the most kind, understanding, genuine persons we've ever met. He was by our side from that moment until the end, and showed the most caring support we could. I need to thank the family network. Some of you may not know, but there was some discord within the family. Some had not talked for years, and others for many years. When the paramedics finally got to help Rick, I believe one of the first person that Rika called was me. As you can imagine, she was beside herself, and I had to get her calmed down to understand what was going on. Of course, my mind started spinning then also. And while I knew I needed to keep supporting her, I also knew I had to make some calls. I asked her if she wanted me to stay on the phone, or would it be okay for a short while for me to call others. She told me to call others. I think she knew we would rally. I called my brother Lee. Thank goodness he was not on a ship. He was at home in Florida. He answered the phone and said, "Hey, what's up?" My words to him were, "You have to listen clearly. This is going to be heavy." He said, "What's going on?" So I told him. I said, "I need you to call Rika right now and give her support. And I'll call others." He did. I then called my sister Kathy, and didn't get an answer. And I looked at the time and knew that she was in church. sir, 911. Answer now. And I called back. I explained to her, she told me to get to her place and we'd be headed towards the ocean. I texted my son Danny, who was also in church, with the same 911 message. And he answered and told me to head down and let him know what's going on. But a short time after that, he knew he had to come down. He came right down. I got to Kathy's, and she had called my nephew Chris. So Chris and Morgan Cooper met us at Kathy's, and we drove down. He was determined that Rick was headed to Olympia, and we were able to meet the medic unit in Olympia at the same time. And Marie Cooper right behind. Daddy texted his sister, my daughter Sarah, and his mom who lived in Olympia to tell them what was happening. And they joined us for support and love. And he made it up the next day. In the end, Rick brought us all together. And that made us a stronger family for many years. I also want to thank all of you. Your support, love, and words of encouragement about Rick have helped us beyond me to tell you. You've been a wonderful support team. God bless you. My brother Rick. To try and summarize Rick is not possible. He was a person who made a world of difference. From a son, to a brother, to an uncle, to a cousin, to a husband, to a father, and to a friend. There's not one person who met him who did not walk away feeling they had just met the most sincere person. He was an artist, a performer, and a salesman. He had a true heart. He started in the hospitality trade at the age of 14. Our church had a summer camp in Indianola, and he was part of the kitchen crew. He worked there with a lady, a very large lady named Mabel, and while there he found a whale student, so she nicknamed him Moby Dick. She would call him Dick instead of Mabel. He enjoyed that experience so much it led him on a path he would walk for years. While he would try a few different career roads throughout the years, he always came back to his true love of hospitality. If you ever had a meal prepared for him, you'd taste his greatness. Although, I don't give a damn what he said, and he tricked me into trying again because I tried something different this time. The liver sucked. Ironically though, Rika will tell you it tastes fantastic. Such her father's daughter. By the time he was 17, he was running the floor at the Sortino Theater, being the closing manager. He met a lot of people from Hollywood who came up to do live plays on stage. There was not one of them who did not appreciate his talent and service. Because he had all the keys to the building, though, which meant the liquor closet. When we were in Boy Scouts, Rick and Lee and Brian Moore and a few others, they were on staff. We went on a fun hike to Buck Creek at Crystal Mountain. Here the boys and the troop got to stay in little cabins while the leaders stayed in the main lodge. So the staff guys put their cabin together. One brought the stereo, one brought lights from the stage crew at high school, and then they had the party cabin. Rick provided the bar. Now, I kid you not, it wasn't just a bar with a little bit of alcohol in it. He had everything all the way down to the cherries and the lemons. It was an awesome idea until the troop leaders discovered the party cabin. The boys on the staff had to go home earlier than the rest of us. When one of the leaders was a Seattle judge, it just doesn't go well. Can you imagine the response Mom gave when they had to explain to her in front of the troop leader what had happened? Not very good. But if you ever watched him perform his trade, like if you ever saw him do the banana foster, or tableside peppercorn New York steak, or if you ever put on a function for you, you saw a performance. Many of you do not know that he was also, in the younger years, a drummer. If you ever drove in the car with him and there was music on, you could see him tapping on the steering wheel with his rings. Or if he was preparing a meal with music going, he could grab any utensil and start drumming along with it. I remember when he had the drum set and was preparing his biggest gig. He was doing the drum part to the theme Hawaii Five-O. So he would call us down to his room and he'd have us start humming. And right on cue, the drums would come in and he'd nail it. He'd just knock it out. I remember when he managed a restaurant in Edmonds, not far from here. The drummer of the band at the club would take a break and Rick would sit in. It came to him so naturally, and he loved the hell out of that. Jim was so proud to watch her man do it. Some 26 plus years ago, Rick went on a trip with one of his best friends. And I say one because if you were his friend, you were one of his best friends. But this time he went on a trip with Keith Anderson to Thailand. He got food poisoning because, let's be honest, Rick loved food. And he saw a street vendor who was cooking some meat. And there might have been a little alcohol involved, I don't know. But he ate some, and he ended up in the hospital. He had a nurse helping him, and he thought she was the most beautiful lady he'd ever seen. A little over a year later, he married that beautiful lady. And this last February, his nurse, Pam, celebrated with him their 25th wedding anniversary. I remember to marry him, Rick had to build a house in Thailand for her. They designed this over the phone mostly, and with him not being able to speak English very well back then, it was difficult to design the house. So he decided this. Jen could design the house however she wanted. He wanted one thing, an American toilet. Two of them there, actually. And they have a very beautiful house. I'm going to pause to show them the slideshow. Rick and Pim love the version of this song that I call
in a restless world like this is. Love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun.
When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart.
Oh, let me give my heart.
And
when I fall in love.
When I fall in love, when I fall in love with you.
I don't know what look at that cheese and mustache I have, so we'll go back that way. Out of this beautiful marriage came one of the most beautiful, impressive ladies I've ever met. Okay, I'm a little one-sided because I'm the uncle. But honestly, it's the truth. Rick provided Katrina Rika with opportunity upon opportunity, and she has grown into an outstanding example of Rick. He was so proud. There was never a time that he would not get her into the spotlight because he knew she would shine. And she has and still does. I was never more impressed than the first Sunday we were at the Hospital Olympia. The doctor came in, we were trying to figure out some things, unsure of Rick's doctor and the medicine he was taking. And out of the blue, with all the emotions going on, Rika says, he sees this doctor, and he takes this, and this for this. And he sees this doctor, and this. I stepped back and looked so proud at her. Because while I always knew that she was on her game, I never knew until that moment how on her game she was. She could not have been more attentive in her life than she was. I'm going to show you two slideshows. The first one many of you have probably already seen. But for Rika's 16th surprise birthday party, Rick asked me to put together a slideshow of her life. While doing that, a bigger theme came to me and Pam. And so Pam, who was my co-conspirator, and helped me secretly get other pictures together. Pam and I surprised Rick and Rika with this slideshow. There were many pictures Rick wanted in the first video I did, and I think while he liked it, I think he was a little disappointed that some of the pictures weren't there. I came up with an excuse that I had run out of time to put them in. What he discovered later was that all those other pictures he wanted were in this one. If you had ever seen the interaction between Rick and Rika, you saw this love. The second video is from Father's Day this year. We all knew it was going to We all knew that it was going to be a hard day for Rika. So Lee came up with a plan. He went and bought a bouquet of 6 balloons. And myself, Danny, Lee, him, and Rika all wrote messages to Rick on our balloons. And then there was one balloon left, so we all wrote on it messages to my dad, better known as Pavlov. And Rika released the balloons. So it's a little over 2 minutes of just watching balloons go up with a message to heaven and listening to one of Rick's favorite songs. When we released them, when we went to release them, it had been a little windy and we were concerned that the balloons might get caught in the trees. But as they were let go, the wind stopped. And they went straight up. And for as long as we could see them, they stayed right above the house. As if Rick was saying, I will always look over you. After these videos, we'll hear from this beautiful lady, Rika.
off and dream in your paper doll world. Play with the presents from the boys and the girls. Your big day is over, the cake is all gone. We sang you to sleep with the birthday song. No, you'll never be one again. The twos are tumbling on in. Daddy's little girl is growing up in the world. You'll never be one again. The toy piano is quiet in the hall as Kermit the Frog sits watching it all. And soon your legs will grow and make the tricycle go and take you away from us all. No, you'll never be one again. The twos are tumbling on in. Daddy's little girl is growing up in the world. You'll never be one again. Good night, baby.
Yeah, Daddy.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to try and do the speech without crying. No promises, though. Before I begin, I would like to thank all of you here on behalf of my mother, my family, and myself for your efforts, large and small, to be here today, to help us mark my father's passing. I'm honored to be able to speak to you all. Each of you here had your own relationship with my dad. Each of you has your own set of memories, your own words, and your own picture that describes this man. I don't presume to know the man that you knew, but I hope that during this speech you will recognize some part of the man that we all knew. The man that is no longer amongst us, the man who will never be gone until we all here have passed. I am humbled and quite frankly impressed at how he must have touched your lives. I can only speak for myself, but when I think of how he touched my life, the first word that comes to mind is admiration. I could stand here and tell you all the ways that I admire him, but, well, we don't have all day. I would like to share a few reasons why I admire my dad. First and foremost was his love and commitment for my mother. And not just marital commitment, he was committed to making her happy. If it was important to her, it became important to him. If she was happy, he was happy. He treated her like his queen, and she treated him like her king. They were happily married for 25 years, and I can only hope to one day have half the love that they had. I also admire him because of the amazing father he was to me. He instilled in me a core value system that defined who he was, and that was a man who kept promises, honored commitment. He was a man of integrity, and he was a man of kindness. He came to every dance performance, every competition, every game I cheered at. He was my #1 fan. Whenever I stumbled, he encouraged me to get right back on the horse and finish what I started, and he fully expected me to see things through all the way to the end without any drama. He mentored, inspired, and touched so many people during his life. There was never a time that my dad wouldn't take the time to listen, give advice, help you understand, tell you how to make a meal better, or give you encouragement to face the challenges. He was the rock of our family, the foundation we all build on. He was our go-to guy, and he never let us down. If you're here today, and I thank you for that, that means that he touched your life in some way or another. That means that you miss him in some way or another. Yes, he will be missed. Friends will miss his parties, his crazy cocktail concoctions, and his long speeches. His grandchildren will unfortunately never get to meet their grandpa and hear the corny back-in-my-day speeches that we all know he would give. My mother will miss having her best friend. I will miss my father, my source of convictions. I will miss my inspiration. But this isn't a goodbye. It's just to see you soon. I know he's watching over us every single day. So I love you, Daddy, and just remember, no matter how old I get, I will always be your little girl. Before I step down, I would like to recognize a couple people that really helped make today happen. Thank you to the Massey family for setting up the sound system. Susie, Kyra, Kimberly for helping with all the planning, setting up, and the beautiful flowers you see on the tables. The Cal family for helping us cook. Dave from Food Services of America for donating the food. Allison King for donating desserts. And our family for being our support system during this incredibly hard time. Emily Laughlin for being the best big sister and second daughter we could have ever asked for. We are so lucky to have all of you in our lives. And again, thank you all for coming to celebrate my dad.
Don't you see the impressive, huh? My brother made an incredible difference to Lee, Kathy, and myself. I cannot begin to tell you all the ways he was a great brother. I remember when we were younger and the money was tight and not much food in the house. You want to guess who figured out dinner and made it happen? It was Rick. Rick also, throughout the years, had a little problem with sleepwalking. In the basement of our house, Rick had one room and Lee and I shared another one. And one night, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, Rick threw open our bedroom door, flipped on the light, gave Lee and I the most bizarre look, and took off running upstairs. And I went, what the hell was that all about? But we didn't know if it was an emergency or not, so we went running upstairs to see what was going on. And there was Rick, now awake, wondering what was going on. Okay. There was another time when he had sleptwalked outside the front door and apparently locked the door. It was about 3:30 in the morning. Mom always got up early to go to work. She heard him knocking, opened the door. There was Rick, now fully awake, in his underwear. And where it came from. But I would tell you that Lee, Kathy, and I are a much better person because of his love for us. I will also tell you he was a prankster. If he could pull a trick on you, he would. And he's so damn proud of it when he got it pulled off. It got to the point that whatever he would tell you, you'd call bullshit on to make him prove it. Because about the time you let your guard down, he'd get you again. Which is why Pam would make him say Marine to Marine if she doubted him, because Marines cannot lie. That was so cute. I'll tell you one of his favorite pranks, though. Rick had a Cutlass salon car, and the headlights of it looked like a cop car. I was driving a car which belonged to a guy in the Navy. He had recently purchased the car for cash, so we did not have any legal paperwork for the car. Kathy was in the car with me in the passenger seat, and the owner, Bob, was in the back seat. Now, Bob not only had an unregistered gun with him, but he also had purchased some illegal substances. So put it together. A car that doesn't belong to us, drugs, illegal gun, and we're on our way to Kathy. In Rick's car, he had a spotlight that he could roll out the window and make it look like a cop spotlight. So he knew which way we would be driving, and he waited for us. We were almost at Kathy. This car was speeding up behind us, and the high beams and low beams are flashing, and the spotlight is up, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to jail. It's a cop. The one thing about Rick's car is when you put on the emergency brake, it made a little distinct sound, kind of a. When I heard it put on that brake and I knew it was him, I knew
There's Rick.
something like that.
Hi, Rick. Thank you.
I started ranting up upside down the other and so did Kathy.
I mean, the story is so
He didn't care. He was laughing so damn hard, so proud of the trick that he had gotten. It didn't matter. I really thought I was going to jail that night. A little over a week after Rick passed, we had a family memorial out of the ocean. Left some of his ashes there. He loved ocean shores. Two close friends came, Brian Moore and Keith Anderson. Keith had been at Rick's side since the first time they ever met. Not only was he there the first time he went to Thailand and met him, but he was there every time after that. Keith was with them at the wedding here in Seattle and at the wedding in Thailand. So it was fitting that he be with us at the ocean. For the wedding in Seattle, there was a picture of a man doing something like this. Keith does American Sign Language, and for the wedding he had done the signing to the song, wedding song, for them. So for the memorial at the ocean, Keith did another song, Forever Young. This isn't the best recording, and the talking you hear at the start of it is from the YouTube version of the song, so please ignore that. But here's Keith Anderson with Forever Young. After this video, though, anybody would like to get up and say anything? You can come up here, or you want to stand where you're at. We'd love to hear anything you'd like to say, and then I'll have a closing after that. Here's Keith.
Forever young.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others, let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the sky, climb on every rung, and may you stay. Forever strength and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. Your soul always be sound. And may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true, and may you stay forever
That is right.
My name is Jim. Him and I were trying to decide how long I've known Benjamin. And a very telling moment, she looked down, speaked up, and said, well, she was 8. And we figured it was about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Rick and I worked together for 7 or 8 years building the Dinner's Ready. I brought the processes, the tools, the work structure. Rick brought the love of food, the culinary, which he tried to impress upon me day in and day out. All the good things about food. And he was just going on and so forth. That was his love, his passion. And he built the corporation on the quality of the food. What I did, you'd never see. What Rick did, those of you who have never been to the store and experienced it, that was Rick. That's what he brought. There were some trying times when we went from one store to 68 stores across the U.S., written up in the Times, the New York Times. And it was Rick that built the foundation that grew upon. And we had some trying times, some heated discussions. You know Rick, he was a rock. It was hard to push. It was hard to move. But typically, we all kind of came back to Rick. And over the years, Rick, another friend, Scott, and I you're working 5 to 6 days a week, it's tough. And Taco Tuesdays or something, I don't know what it was. I don't think any of us cared for tacos. It was just a chance for us to get away and be together and be friends. Back in May, my heart stopped, literally. I was on the deck of my home, no breath, no pulse. I was in the hospital for weeks. And after I came home, Rick killed me. Rick was in the kitchen making dinner. That's what he did. He was there to care for me, my family. A week later, Rick and Pam come by, bring us 4 meals. That was May 13th. And I was down. June 12th, Rick. It was so strange that both of us went through the same thing at the same time. Rick and Dylan, Rita were there for us. With her.
I'd like to say a couple words about Rick. Give you all a chance to turn around a little bit and stretch and look at me. My name's John. I went to school with Rick. Grade school. Back when we called middle school, junior high, and in high school. So I watched him as a little kid. You know, we all know Rick is a young man, nice guy, right? As a kid, he was a nice kid. I always remember growing up with Rick. We talked, and we weren't really good friends or anything. Just kind of knew him. And just a nice kid. And then, we graduated from high school, go our separate ways. And 30 years later, I'm up in Mill Creek, and I run into this middle-aged, old fat guy named Rick Peterson. And I'm a middle-aged, old fat guy. And he said, "You got old and fat." I said, "So did you." And we got to know each other because Rika and Christopher were in the same grade. And what was fun was I got to see what happens to, you kind of see yourself through the people. This young kid became this man who got married, and he loved his family so much. And that man was so freaking happy with life. And I was so happy. I got married and I had kids. I was so happy with life. And we shared it. A very unselfish guy, too. I always noticed you meet somebody, you start talking about your kid, and then they want to talk about their kid. Well, you know what? I want to know about his kid, and he want to know about my kid. That was the kind of guy Rick was. Supported the school, supported the activities. I just watched my kid grow up with his. And didn't really get that close with him or anything, but was always there when he needed help. Rick helped me with parties. Rick helped when we needed to raise money for the schools. Rick was always there. I'm really sorry he's gone. I'm sorry he's gone so young because he's my age, and I think that's way too young to go. But I am happy that Rick was so damn happy in his life. So maybe he's gone early, but I got to tell you, he loved every minute. He loved him. He loved Rika. He was a very, very happy man, and I know that, and I'm glad he had that. I'm really glad he had that. I'm gonna just kind of hope that maybe in God's way he needed Rick a little bit early, and somewhere there's a new Rick starting somewhere else in the world, and he's going to be just as wonderful as the Rick we knew. But great guy, a really great guy. And maybe let me tell you, he was one heck of a happy man. He loved his life.
He was needed for some additional hospitality.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, since John made you all turn around, I might as well take this opportunity to speak on my path and my experiences regarding the Petersons. In 1996, they moved. They moved next to me. At the time, my wife was pregnant for our first child. So I saw little Rika on Rick's shoulder, and I thought she was the most cutest thing ever. How can I compete with that, right? And then, stop it. He said that this is the best thing that ever happened to him after he married Pam. And he stopped explaining to me how wonderful life is with a daughter. So he goes, the moment you'll see your child, he can't explain it. The moment you see your child, you'll know exactly what I mean. So it's like, hum ho, yeah, whatever, right? So when Naria was born, I looked at her in the eyes and I started crying. I said, Mr. Peterson, it's your fault. You made me cry. I never believed what you said was so true. He inspired me to be a good person. Even though we're like next door, well, didn't have a door. We took out the gate. We loved the family so much, we took down the fence so we could get direct access. The first month Naria was born, they offered to take care of her because we couldn't afford child care at the time. And then we got mom to come in, but they helped watch and raise our little girl. So he inspired me so much to be a good father. And for that, I cannot forget Rick Peterson. And we love you guys.
And she trained our daughter. I would train her at 7 months. And that was the new trend that we started because Kim was like the perfect mom with Naria, and then from there on, that's the new standard, and that is the Peterson standard. So we sincerely miss him and felt blessed as little time as we could have with him. It's not a loss because there's a huge takeaway. To know him is to love him, to respect him, and to appreciate everything that life has offered. Thank you so much, you guys. And Arika is an amazing daughter, and I can understand why she turned out the way she is now, because she has an amazing role model. Unconditional love, first-hand experience. I truly, truly appreciate life with him around.
I called him Uncle Ricky, okay? We worked together for more than 10 years, 2 different places, and everybody's already mentioned, the biggest part of Rick was, if you looked up devoted family man, this picture would be there. I know it'd be there, and the other thing about Rick, that him and I, the reason why we got along so well is because we're team guys. Rick was all about us and we. There's no I and me in that guy. And I'm really thankful that I to call him one of my best friends. Hopefully he's getting a golf lesson. That guy had a swing like no swing I've ever seen. Whoever said he's the happiest guy, I go along with that.
Thank you for those stories. That's awesome. We all know Rick was a special person. A real human with a true heart. For those who did not know, Rick was an organ donor. When he passed, they were able to harvest his skin, tissue, bone marrow, and his eyes. His eyes went to 2 different people for them to be able to see light. Kim has stated that one day she hopes to have the ability to look into her husband's eyes. Upon hearing this on Facebook, 2 people posted call me. William McKinley said, incredible final gesture. And that's the Rick we've known for so many years. Rest in peace, Rick. And Greg Beckman stated, always the giver. Bless you, Rick. So I encourage everyone to be an open person tomorrow. It can make a world of difference for everyone, whatever it is. I had 55 years of the Rick. He made it fantastic. His memory will never fade. It will not go away. And all you have to do is look at Rick, at him and Rika, and see Rick. This last video is about 7.5 minutes long. It's too long. To start, it's right there. It's a picture of an eagle that Rick took. I gotta tell you, I'm jealous. I take a lot of pictures. I got some pretty cool pictures of eagles. I don't have one like that. Pretty awesome. This video came to me from Rick and Tim's Nikon camera. There was about 1,600 pictures on it, spanning about 3 years. I picked 100 of them. Trips to Alaska, Grand Canyon, Thailand. I'm sure they have looked at the pictures on the camera, but I'm not sure they were ever actually downloaded. So these could be some pictures that no one had ever seen before. I left them exactly how he took them. I did no editing to them. I left them like this because I want you to see the world in a way. While there were some pictures with him in it, because he's also a pretty good photographer, most of them are the world he saw and loved. He had two very attractive models in the world that would pose for him always. And he loved being a photographer. I want to thank you all for joining us today to celebrate Rick's life. He was one of a kind, and he will always be in our hearts and in our minds. Ron Tucker stated on him on Facebook, thinking about you and Rika every day. Your family has always been a wonderful example of the love that is possible. Too many people, unfortunately, never get to experience that. No matter what, you will carry that advantage with you for the rest of your lives. I'm so sad for your loss, but also confident that Rick's positive energy and love for his family will forever give you a reason to smile. Here's Roger. Thank you.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. snows lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose. When you look back on times we had, I hope you smile and know that through the good and through the bad, I was on your side when nobody could hold us down. We claimed the brightest star and we came so far, and know they won't forget. Whenever you remember times gone by, remember how we held our heads so high when all this world was there for us, and we believed that we could touch the sky. Whenever you remember, I'll be there. Remember how we reached that dream together. Whenever you remember, when you think back on all we've done, I hope you're proud. When you look back and see how far we've come, it was our time to shine, and nobody could hold us down. They thought they'd see us fall, but we stood so tall, and know we